The Talksport Fan Network.
The ultimate on-demand destination for the UK's best fan-led football podcasts.
Want authentic supporter insight on all things Bournemouth? Follow Up the Cherries in all departments on the Talksport Fan Network.
Club-dedicated content created by the fans, for the fans.
Search Talksport Fan Network.
Welcome to a brand new season of cherry picking, and we're going to do things a little bit differently this season. But I'll tell you what, let me introduce you to a few familiar faces. So, of course, next to me, he needs no introduction. Of course, he's Mr. Matthew Harrison. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, all good, Craig. I'm loving the retro shirt feel today, which is nice.
Yep, definitely. We're also joined by Liam Humby. How you doing, Liam?
Hello. Good, thanks.
Good to see you, and happy birthday as well.
Thank you.
No problem at all. And I love the green and black shirt as well. Amazing shirt as well. And of course, we have also got Anna Doran. How you doing, Anna?
Hi. Yeah, really good. Thank you. Looking forward to the new season.
Definitely. Well, I tell you what, let's start off and tell you what is coming up on cherry picking this week. So here we go. So we have got a new game. You might be able to remember this from some of the earlier cherry pickings, but you can play along with our new weekly game, Guess the Cherry. Do keep the answers to yourself. We will reveal it at the end. We're also going to go through the contract extensions, pleasing to see Stars sign. Also, we have signed a couple of new players, and also there's quite a few transfer rumours bounding about as well. So we'll cover all of those. We're going to cover off the limited edition Michael B. Jordan Cherries shirts. Are they overpriced, or another shirt for the collection? We'll also look at pre-season and Born in the USA. So there is a setback, though, for one of our stars, Tyler Adams, and we'll cover off what we think will happen with regards to him. We've also got the warm-up fixtures in the USA against Wrexham and, of course, Arsenal. And also, we'll cover off players that are going to be leaving the club as well. So we've got a feature-packed show for you today, everyone. So I'll tell you what, let's start off with Guess the Cherry. And Matt, I'll tell you what, you can take this away, this feature.
Yeah, okay. Right, so this week's player is, the clues. I was nearly going to say the player's name then. That would have been
wouldn't have been a great start, would it?
So first clue, born in Aberdeen, Scotland in 1980. Was part of the Chelsea setup, but never made a first team appearance. Earned one full international cap with Scotland in 2002. Represented 4 clubs, including Bournemouth on loan during his career. Made over 200 appearances in a Cherries shirt and scored 5 times. And he is currently the manager of Highland League side Turriff United.
So, who is he? We will reveal the answer at the end of the show. If you are watching this a little bit later than other people, do avoid the comment section at the moment, because I'm sure somebody will put in the comment section, but try not to. And yeah, do let us know what you think. Put it on Facebook. There we are. Put it on Facebook, and then we'll give a congratulations to whoever guesses it first, because of course it's all time stamped as well. On the start of the next show. But I'll tell you what, let's get into the players that have signed new contract extensions. And of course, one of those men is the great Lewis Cook. He said, "I love it here. I've been here since I was 19 and definitely call this my home now," Cook told the club. "External to extending my time here further is brilliant for me and my family. Coming down as a young boy was a big change, but ever since I moved down here, it's always had a family feel at the club, and I am settled here now. The project going forwards looks very bright, and I'm happy to be part of it. The morale is high, and hopefully we can have a great season." Of course, Bournemouth's chief executive Neil Blake added, "Lewis is the embodiment of an AFC Bournemouth player with his hard-working and professional approach, and we're delighted to agree terms on a long-term deal. He has produced such exceptional output over a long period of time with us, and to see him thriving after another fantastic season is great for the club." I tell you what, let's go around the room. How pleased are you to see Lewis Cook extend his deal, everyone?
Really pleased.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
good,
I
isn't
think
it?
it's
Yeah.
Yeah, most definitely. And I think Lewis has been a player as well. And we'll come on to a player as well who's had an injury setback in the US. He's a player that has had those injury setbacks, but he's recovered from it. You know, he's put in some great performances, and he does enjoy life down the south coast. I do see him every now and again, and he's always got a smile on his face. He does love it down here, and I think he does not regret the move from Leeds one bit. So yes, and of course that does coincide as well with, of course, the player who has had that setback as well. Of course,
Yeah.
also formerly of Leeds United. So yes, Semenyo. Oh, what a legend! What a legend! And there he is, smiling
Brilliant.
with
Yay!
Simon Francis. Do you know what? I would have been gutted if he didn't sign this. I would have actually gone and found him and said, "Semenyo, sign it, have fun." The agreement is set to keep the Ghana
Yeah.
International at the Vitality Stadium until at least the summer of 2029. There was a song like that, but it was summer of 69, wasn't it? But yeah. AFC Bournemouth Chief Executive Neil Blake said it has been clear for all to see the rate of Anton's development since joining 18 months ago. He's gone from strength to strength and enjoyed an incredible first full season with us. Agreeing on a new long-term contract was important for us to recognise his contribution as a key member of our squad, and we're excited to see this continue for years to come. Semenyo's impressive form also saw him win the club's Michael Matthews Jewellers Player of the Month award for November. And he has played 47 times for the Cherries in all competitions, having signed from Bristol City in January 2023. I'll go around the room again. To be honest, nobody really needs to hear my views because I'm absolutely. Do you know what? I think I've got a bit of a man crush on this guy. But well, what do you guys make of Semenyo?
Great player.
He's fantastic. I'm so pleased that he has signed for another 4 years. It's just the best news.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's an important asset, isn't he? And he's obviously part of this team going forward for the long term. So same with Cookie. So yeah, it's great to see the pair of them signed. But there's also another one, isn't there?
There is, yeah, there is. And dare I say it as well, just going back to Semenyo very, very quickly, I turned round when he signed and I said, well, and to be honest, it was in an interview with Mark McAdam, and I said, well, he blows a bit hot and cold for Bristol City, and Mark McAdam agreed. But I think he has found his form and he's found Iriola's style of play to his liking. So what a player. Honestly, love the man. There we are.
I'm with you on that completely.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, Ilya Zabania signs a new 5-year contract as well. And I tell you what, this is a great piece of business. The impressive centre-back joined the club from Dynamo Kiev for 24 million in January 2023 and was already developed into a fan's favourite. Discussing his new deal, which ties him to the club until the summer of 29, Zabania told the club's website, "I'm so excited and so happy to be here. I'm really enjoying it. It's a beautiful town and a really exciting project. I've enjoyed a lot of good moments. Last season was important for me. We achieved a record points total, but we can do more. It's a really great place to be, and I'm pleased to extend my stay." And there he is with Bill Foley as well. And guys, what do you make of this? I think this is brilliant.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I think this was he was one of my 5 top players of last season, but he was one I was really hoping we'd keep hold of. Not great in the Euros, I don't think, but certainly at club level for us, we've seen some of his brilliant tackles over in the States over the last couple of games that they've played, and I'm so pleased he's going to stay with us.
Definitely.
I mean, you've stuck your neck on the line, haven't you, Craig, by saying that this guy is going to be world class. So,
yes,
massive benefit for the club. And he had a poor Euros, but as long as his form stays good for Bournemouth, who cares?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, there was rumours as well that Manchester City and Real Madrid were after him. Now, of course, rumours are rumours. They might not come to anything. But the thing is he going to see out, and to put a bit of a sideward step on this, is he going to see out this contract? And what I mean by that is, do we feel that a club, and why we've extended this deal, is because there is going to be a big club that is going to come in for him, and we're going to demand, therefore, that big fee? I think this makes sense from that perspective as well.
I mean, look, the other 2, apart from Cookie, obviously, but the other 2 were, they're reasonably young players still. I mean, Antoine is 24, maybe.
I think so, yeah.
So reasonably young still. So lots and lots of career development still left in them. But whilst we can take advantage of them being with us for as long as possible, we should, and get good money for them further down the line.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah.
So, some good deals there for our. Well, no, start again. Right. 12 minutes to 14. So 3, 2, 1. So some great deals there, some new deals for our stars, but we've also got a couple of players that have also joined the club as well. Let's have a little look at them. So Daniel Jebison has joined the club. He's joined from Sheffield United, a young player again, only 21 years of age. He is from Ontario in Canada, and as anybody who has seen, some of the footage of our 2 friendlies in the US, he's tall. And he's strong. He made 7 Premier League appearances, becoming the youngest Premier League scorer at the time when he was 17 years. One for the future?
I think so.
Yeah,
I think he might go out on loan.
Yeah. Going out on loan, I think, is their plan for him, isn't it? But from what I've seen, 2 friendly games, he seems quite lively. The Sheffield United fans are quite critical of him. I think a lot of the Sheffield United fans have wanted to get rid of him for quite some time, but he must be a player with some kind of potential. Otherwise, they've invested in signing him. I know they paid a tribunal fee for him or something.
Yeah,
$1.5 million or something like that. Before it goes to a tribunal, they've settled out of court or whatever they say. So yeah, for them to invest in the player, he must have some kind of potential. But yeah, rumours have it I think Leeds might be sniffing.
Yeah. I think he's a typical Bournemouth signing, and what I mean by that, and I'm not doing us down here, but he's somebody who we can bring in and we can develop, and we can then put him into the first team squad. Now, remember, we've done that so well throughout the years with a number of players. Most notably, Dominic Solanke. Of course, Dominic Solanke joined as effectively a backup player, and he gradually built himself into the player he is today. So, hopefully, fingers crossed, this is one for the future, one that will develop. Can we afford at this moment in time for him to go out on loan, though? That is the big question, because we've got Enis Unal, of course, was injured just before the Euros as well. So he had the heartbreak of not being able to play for Turkey. Of course, we've got Dominic Solanke, hopefully, touch wood, nobody's going to come in for him. But Jebison, I think he's going to offer something a little bit different.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from. Yeah, I mean, he's been likened to the likes of Solanke in some respects as well. I read somewhere that he can be a similar style striker to him, but I think he needs more experience. He's still very young.
Yeah.
And I think the best move is to obviously bring him into the club, sort of gel him in, loan him out and see what he can do. Well, it'll be Championship, won't it? I'd imagine that he'll end up going. And if he can start banging him in the Championship like Solanke did, and then come back maybe next season, he might be competing for a place. Who knows?
We have got Semenyo who can play there too. So
yes,
and Clive can play in the centre. So in terms of him being a squad player, I think it's better to get someone like him out on loan, get games under his belt, get some goals, and come back and compete for a place.
Like you say, Matt, Leeds are being rumoured. Are we trying to help Leeds out again, are we? We're meant to hate them.
I do hope not.
We've also signed Alex Paulson. Of course, he's from New Zealand. Now, this is a really interesting signing for myself, because he does look a real star. He's currently in the Olympic team, and actually was part of New Zealand's win the other day. So the last A-League men appearance that Paulson made came on May the 18th for Wellington Phoenix versus Melbourne Victory. A match that he played 120 minutes in during a 2-1 loss. The Wellington Phoenix goalkeeper has collected 12 clean sheets this campaign, which is tied for the most in the competition. He's been shown a yellow card twice. Now, I think that this is a good bit of business again. The reason being is because it is a Bournemouth-like signing. It's a player who we've signed from a league that, isn't really illustrious, has got a lot of talent in it. I think the A-League seems to be, either really good talent, who are starting out their careers, or it's aging stars. I think Tim Cahill went there, didn't he, after he left Everton? So players like that who are coming to the end of their career, normally go out there, and of course it's a nice place to be as well, Australia and New Zealand, isn't it? So I think this is a great bit of business. What do you make of him?
Well, internationally, I think playing Fiji and Vanuatu. I think it kind of worries me a little bit, if I'm honest, about him coming straight into the first team. I think, with Neto and Travers, I kind of don't know whether his place is there just yet. And personally feel probably happier if he goes out on loan to a championship club or wherever, and just sort of embeds the style of play, building up the levels that perhaps he might not necessarily be facing in international competitions. That's just my thoughts.
I'm with you on that.
I agree on that. I mean, he's played a blinder in the league he's been in. I mean, they played a friendly against Newcastle, I think.
Yeah,
he was part of the All Stars team. I think they played against Newcastle and they beat Newcastle 8-0, and he kept a clean sheet. Looked impressive. And apparently, he's playing a right blinder in the Olympics. I read last night that he pulled off some, I think, like 7 superb saves
or something.
Yeah,
he's definitely one for the future. Again, another one that you want to see go out on loan and get game time. I think that's the plan for him. I mean, there was rumours when we signed him that apparently he was going to go straight in as second choice this season. But again, young keeper, one for the future. We've got a good bed of keepers at the club. So, if it was a case that this guy goes out and develops and has a season or two on loan, I think it's only going to benefit him and us in the long term.
Definitely. And dare I say it as well, I don't want him to go to a club like Leeds. A club like Leeds. I'm coming out with that already. But I don't want him to go to a club like Leeds, because I want him to go to a club where he's going to be tested at. And if he goes to somebody like a Plymouth, no, probably not Plymouth, because Wayne Rooney destroys players' careers. But, say for example, an Oxford United, where he is going to be put under immense pressure to make some really tough saves, make a lot of tough decisions. That would be the sort of move that I would like for Alex Paulson. The other thing as well is we don't want to send him out on loan for him to play second fiddle somewhere. So we don't want to send him out to, say, for example, Stoke, and then him not get enough game time. So I'm with you there, Anna. I think he's an exciting signing. I think, he's a Bournemouth signing. Well, of course he's a Bournemouth signing. We've signed him. But, but he is a typical signing that we can develop. And that is, what's exciting about this for me.
Yeah, I'd imagine part of the clause, if they loan him out, will state that he needs to have a certain amount of minutes if fit. So I imagine wherever he goes, he'd be first choice. I would like to think anyway.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But what are the club's plans for the rest of the transfer window? Now, transfer rumours include another goalkeeper from PAOK. I'm not going to say the second part because, to be honest, I'm really going to struggle with that, and I'll only butcher it. Called Dominic Koteriski. I think I've said that right as well. And Tebeo Mokena, a midfielder who plays for the Sundowns in South Africa, and also Joel Matip. It was said to be on Iriola's radar back in May. So, to be honest, 2 of those players I don't know anything about. McKenna, I've heard the name, but I don't know anything about him. Kotarski, I think that's how he's Kotarski. I think so. I think I've never heard of him before, but if Iriola's got them, in his radar, we've got to trust the man. Simon France is another man who is very, very good at picking out players from nowhere. Of course, he was a player himself, who signed from Charlton Athletic, who there was rumours at the time that, he wasn't too keen on the move to Bournemouth. And let's be honest, if he didn't make that move, where would he be today? So I think he's got a very, very good eye for a player, and it's exciting. But we're also looking at a few players, and there's a few rumours going on board. So Cherries are said to be interested in Lorient goalkeeper Von Mavogo. Again, I think I've said it right. Should be an easy one to get across the line, this actually, because of course our links with Lorient. Sorry, Nicholas. It looks as if we may be raiding you again. But AFC Bournemouth are said to be considering making a move for goalkeeper Von Mavogo. A French outlet, you're going to struggle saying that, L'Equipe, claim Cherries are weighing up whether to bring in the 30-year-old to England following Lorient's relegation from League One. Bill Foley has a financial interest in both clubs as part of his portfolio. He's only got 1 year left on his contract at Lorient, with Leicester City also said to be considering signing him. The Cameroon-born stopper made his name at Swiss side Young Boys before spells at Red Bull Leipzig and PSV Eindhoven. Cherries currently have 3 senior goalkeepers in Neto, Mark Travers and Will Dennis, as well as recent signings Alec Paulson and Callum McKenna, while Billy Terrell is also on the books. Now, with this, I would say that this might be a case of, I'm guessing he's probably not going to want to sign for Lorient for another season. Would it be a case of we loan him for a fee? I think that's possibly the way it would go. Also, it would give Paulson a little bit of time in the Championship to actually develop. What do you guys think?
I think so.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's bizarre, isn't it? We've got all these goalkeepers, and we're looking at signing more goalkeepers. Are we trying to be PSG or something with like I mean, I think there's got to be more into this than meets the eye. I mean, I've seen a lot of rumours about Mark Travers and Burnley this week. Travers obviously doesn't want to be here if he's not going to be playing, and you can understand that now. Or is it a case that he goes on loan again? He wants game time. It's quite clear. Will Dennis made a massive impact at Kilmarnock last season, so he's going to be wanting to play in as well. So is there a few loan moves coming up for some goalkeepers, and this guy's going to come in as a second choice, or obviously to compete with Neto?
Can I put my neck out there?
Yeah.
I tell you what, I think Mark Travers should be number 1 next season, and I think Neto should be number 2. And the reason being is some of the mistakes he's made. Neto is coming to the twilight end of his career. I think he's only got a year left, hasn't he, Matt? On his deal.
It's about a year left, but then people, keepers of his age are, still in their peak normally, aren't they? So it's an interesting one. That,
yeah, I would say Travers is number 1. Neto probably number 2. This guy maybe number 3, with Paulson, Will Dennis, and Callum McKenna going out on loan. So, what do you reckon, Anna, about this?
Yeah, I honestly, when I've seen all the goalkeepers and the sort of idea of this rotation, it does feel like there must be a bigger picture, because obviously there is a bigger picture, but it sort of makes me a bit nervous about where Travers might end up, because I'm someone who's always been a fan of him, and have loved Neto coming in as well. I mean, for as many dreadful moments he's had, he's also had some absolutely insanely brilliant moments, and I think that there's definitely some sort of business plan going ahead here, and I think the links with Lorient and is it Hibs as well? Have we Bill Foley still got some links?
Yes, he has. Yeah.
So I'm sort of thinking that there's going to be a bigger picture of some sort of deals going on behind the scenes that will probably only become clear on our first game.
Yep, most definitely. But I hope Scott Parker has no interest in Mark Travers, because I would love.
Oh my gosh! Could you imagine the conversation on the first day? 9-0.
Yeah.
he knows the player, and he was the best goalkeeper in the Championship that season, so you can understand why he is on.
I know, but. Totally, but that last game at Liverpool, 9-0, it's just no.
Yeah, I think we can. I think I can attribute that to Scott Parker. I've already warned Burnley about that. Yeah, Scott Parker 9-0. If you're any Burnley fans watching, yeah, I feel for you. Really do feel for you. He'll probably get you
Yeah.
up, but when you get here, don't know what you do from there.
Oh yeah, please don't let Travers go for that again, honestly.
Exactly. But we do look set to win the race against
Yes.
Villa and Liverpool for this wonder kid. Now, AFC Bournemouth President of Football Operations, Thiago Pinto, looks to have sealed a massive signing for the Cherries by seeing off competition from both Liverpool, of course, where Richard Hughes has gone, and Aston Villa to sign highly rated Juventus wonder kid Dean Huijsen. A 10% sell-on fee has been agreed with Bournemouth paying Juventus.
That's
Juve.
That's
Do you know what? I always struggle to say it, even though it's just a shortened version of Juventus.
Juve.
Juve.
You
Oh,
say then Juventus every time. Juve. It's beautiful. Juve. Even
Juve.
I can say it, so if I can say it.
15 million up front with 3 million in add-ons. The medical is booked for the 27th of July for the star who once turned down the mighty Real Madrid. It is said that Bournemouth's exciting project has been the pull for the youngster who sees development happening alongside a club who have ambitions for Europe.
Yeah.
The deal is set to be finalised and announced by the Cherries as early as this weekend. This is exciting.
Yeah. I can't get over how far we've come where we're identifying players like this that want to come here, that see the future. It just makes me so proud. And, you know, that just having the faith at the beginning of last year, I know not everybody was sort of buying into the new regime, but oh my gosh, it's so exciting.
No, definitely. It's proofs, you know, we've come a long way from throwing money into buckets for players. Things like that to, you know, just to sign a player for 20 grand because we were potless, and now we're signing players that have, you know, turned down Real Madrid because this project is so exciting. It just, like you say, it proves how far it's come, and you know, and how well Bill Foley and the team have done since they've come in. And their vision is starting to now take off. I mean, this guy, I mean, I don't know if anyone's seen him play, but I've seen
a few clips.
Yeah, that's what I've done with him as well on the clips and that. And he's looking good. He's looking good. So
the one where he's running with the ball.
Yeah. He's
honestly
unbelievable. So I mean, if we get this one over the line,
it's so exciting.
This is one that probably won't go out on loan. Let's put it that way. But you know, like look at the likes of Alex Scott. I mean, he's come here because of his development. You know, you've had managers like Pep. You know, really praise him, and you know, said to been on City's radar as well. And you know, he's come to Bournemouth to, you know, further his career in some respects. As he's come here to develop. The football's good, coaching's good. And it's exactly the same vision for this next signing. So it's going to be exciting to see the competition for places. That's going to really hot up. Might mean a few more players might go out the door as well. But this is exciting. I mean, I was very, very surprised when I read it. And your favourite bloke, Craig, what's his name? Breaks all the transfer route.
Mark McAdam.
No, not him.
Oh, Fabrizio Romano.
Hey.
He's been hot on this one, so there's got to be some truth in it. But yeah, exciting.
Where was Fabrizio when Eddie Howe called Steve Fletcher and said, "Hello, Steve. Yeah, I'd like you to come back. Yeah, I'd like you to come back, Steve. Yeah, can't pay for you, but we come back."
I think he was worried at the time that Steve Evans wasn't going to find out that he was tapping him up behind his back, because Steve Evans looks like a fellow that can handle himself. So
He was probably shitting it, wasn't he? Oh, please don't let Steve find out. Please don't let Steve find out. Oh, Fletcher's gone in there. He's a big man, he's told him.
I think even Fletch was scared to go in there and approach him.
Yeah, he probably was, to be honest. Yeah, Steve, I'm leaving. I'm going to Bournemouth.
Yeah, I think when Steve Evans said to me, he said, "Oh, Bournemouth's been on the phone," and Fletcher's like, "Oh, are they?" Pretending he didn't know nothing about it, when in fact Eddie'd been tapping him up for. Good old story. But
definitely
long are the days of target men like Fletcher gone. Long gone now.
Yes, yeah, they have.
And may I say, it's his birthday today.
Oh, happy birthday, Fletch!
Is it?
Yeah.
You share your birthday with Fletch?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, happy birthday to you!
Happy birthday to Steve Fletcher as well. There we are. How can we forget a happy birthday message to Steve Fletcher?
We should do one. We should do one now.
Happy birthday to
Yeah.
Fletcher.
I know he'll love that.
I will do. Do you know what? I might have to give him a call and just sing it down the phone to him. Score that goal against Grimsby. Oh, yeah. It's either that or he'll block me. Moving on. Let's have a look at the new shirts, of course.
Yes.
Yeah. These are sexy shirts. To be honest, they've grown on me.
Yes.
Of course, Michael B. Jordan. Adonis Creed has designed them. A nice addition to the range. Is it overpriced? Making money out of the fans? There's lots of things there's been criticism, £85. Oh, that's a lot. Good for getting the club out there in the USA, most definitely. And the reimagined early 80s crest, good or bad. Let's have a little look at it in a bit more detail.
Yeah.
So, the bespoke kits have been designed in the club's traditional red and black colours with a striking interlocking cherry pattern throughout, as you'll be able to see there. An exclusive MBJX AFCB tag will feature on the range to signify the collaboration with Michael, as well as his stamp of Outlier Society Ventures, his venture arm, expressing his passion for creative and impactful enterprises. The kits will also include a modern reworking of the vintage Cherries crest, as you can also see, which is set to be introduced as a secondary mark across other club projects. The club and Michael have worked closely with talented designer Daniel Norris to reimagine the former crest, which was used by the club in the early 1980s. And there we are. There's the prices. £85 for adults, £85 for ladies, £70 for the youths. Been a bit of criticism about this and the figures. What do you make of it? Is it fleecing the fans for a shirt that's only going to be used twice and has already been used twice?
Marketing wise, out in the States, I think the link with Michael, I think is probably a really, really good strategy, because new fans aren't necessarily going to have, I don't want to say this, but the same sort of loyalty perhaps to a particular badge or a particular style or whatever. So and I think, like you guys said, they have grown on me. I didn't like it at first, but then I saw them playing in them and I was like, they look all right, they look good, but am I going to buy one? No,
probably not.
£85, no,
a lot of money.
It is a lot of money.
See why they done it with special edition, but
it's a bit.
I'll tell you what.
Well, I've got a confession.
You buy every bloody shirt going, Matt.
You've got one.
I've got a confession to make. Wow, my missus has ordered me one.
Oh,
as a nice little surprise.
That's nice.
But then she complains about how many shirts I've got, so I don't understand. But anyway, apparently she's ordered me one. I don't agree with the price.
No.
As soon as I saw them come out, I said to the wife, I said, I can't justify paying £85 for a shirt. I mean, they are nice. I liked them straight away. I like how they've sort of reimagined, where is it, this old retro crest.
Yeah.
I think that's quite nice. I mean, that was rumoured earlier on in the year, wasn't it, to be taken over as our main crest, and I wouldn't like it as our crest on our Premier League shirts, but it's a good reimagining of an old crest. I think it's for America, fantastic. I mean, to, get the club out there is great. £85 is.
But saying that, the internationals are quite expensive too.
Is it?
The international shirts.
Oh, as in like England and that? Yeah, no, that's true. I mean, for
a bit more wear out of an England shirt
than these, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't buy a New England shirt, to be honest with you. I've been there extortionately priced, but yeah, these, price wise.
I think what annoys me the most, I don't know if that's the right word, but I've got a daughter. She wants a shirt, but she is not going to get one at those prices for children. And I think that as a parent, I want my daughter to get involved. I really, really do. But when she's going to grow out of that in a year's time or 2 years' time, it's not the sort of the value for money for me as a parent thinking about it. And so I think, definitely lower down the line with the children's and the the toddlers and things like that. I just think it's such a shame that those young fans coming through, your parents are going to be looking at that and thinking, do I get one for myself? Maybe do I get one for the child? And I just that just irks me a little bit with prices.
I agree with you completely on that. And I think, there is a scheme that, a couple of people have got together and done, which is AFCB Kids for Kit. Kits for Kids. And the thing is I think, football club shirts should be lower. The adult price is fair enough. Okay. If I want to go out and buy a shirt, I'll go out and buy a shirt. But the thing is for the kids, they should be a lower price because kids want it. Kids want they're the future of this football club. When we build this new stadium, they're the ones that are going to be filling it. And this sort of shirt will be. It will be timeless because it is going to be a case of it's going to be firstly rare. It's going to be something that we can look back on in years to come. Hopefully, when we're an established Premier League club, and touch wood, we'll never go down to bloody League Two again. But it's something that we can look back on. But the prices are extortionate. One thing as well that I'm not too keen on these shirts with is actually like how the crest is printed. See, with embroidered shirts like we've got here, they will stand washing. They will stand washing. These shirts, and I think it's more of a rubbery effect. That the crest has got a case where it is a little bit more durable than the plastic. Where you saw, like the Mansion logos. They used to crack a little bit. They used to crack a little bit after a number of washes. With these, hopefully that's not going to happen. But I've already seen one person, and they've actually contacted and reached out to Jim Frivola, where the Outlier Ventures logo on the back of the shirt is actually peeling off a little bit. So that's a little bit poor, for a shirt that is £85. But I guess it depends how you wash these shirts. And, the thing is I would have rather an embroidered badge on this.
Yeah, I think the the future of football shirts, I think they're moving, the manufacturers are moving away from embroidered badges. And, I think it's with what you say about the older shirts with the Mansion on it and that cracking, that was down to the quality. Now, don't forget, the shirts were being produced by, Cabrini, JD at the time.
Good point.
If they were, those kind of, deals were aimed at lower clubs, really, than Premier League clubs, and the quality with Umbro. In terms of the badge, I don't know about the sponsor that's on the back of the shirt. I mean, I don't know really what that looks like, but from the badge, I don't think with the Umbro crest and the Bournemouth crest on this shirt, I don't think you'll have any issues washing on that. But yeah, it's definitely a. I mean, I like both of them, but I mean, can anyone buy both of them? I mean, I'd love to buy both of them, but
be £170.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, thanks.
Yeah,
I think you got to pick one or the other if you're going to invest in one.
the black one
Which one
for
do you
me.
favourite? Black.
Black
Yeah.
and gold is just lovely.
Yeah.
see, I like the red one. Now I like the black
Yeah.
one. The black one, will go with anything, but the red one, I find look, that's just me, back there. But
I was going to say, such a fashionista today.
yeah, and I don't know. I just like the red one because it looks more like a retro
Yeah.
Bournemouth shirt for me.
That's really true. And actually, Craig, I think you did quite a good selling job on me earlier, talking about the limited edition nature, in 20, 30 years time, whatever, when we're flying high across the world, we can look back on these shirts and go, this was the start. So actually, is it an investment worth shelling out for?
Well,
very possible. Very possible.
You might have changed my mind.
See, my question there is will that shirt be worth the amount of some of the shirts I've got in my collection, Craig, which you've seen?
Yes.
Kind of what they're worth on eBay and things like that. Will this shirt be worth that kind of money in 30 years' time? Bearing in mind, these are going to be mass produced.
Wow.
Even though they're called limited edition,
I reckon there's an American market, an American market. That's what I'm thinking. They seem to go big with their shirts and stuff, don't they?
But in terms of long-term investment, I don't know whether they'd be worth anything massively later on.
Well, you can be our test case for it because you have got one.
Yeah, I'll put a memo in my diary in 30 years.
30 years. Beers can be on you.
Yeah,
we all sat round here, won't we? I'll be I'll have no hair. You might be a bit grey, Matt.
I'm grey now, let alone then. It's a nice shirt. I mean, I can't say no more than that. Really, there's some specs there.
Yeah. Here's another side of it, though, as well. This shirt, and this is something that I've thought of. Now, I'm hoping, and fingers crossed, that they're going to be offering sponsorless shirts this season.
They are.
They do for the women, so hopefully for just generally.
They are. Yeah, they are.
We're not. To be honest, I've covered it in so much detail. I won't mention what it is, but the choice of letters on the front of the shirt is probably not particularly the greatest.
I am not wearing it. Not a chance.
Don't blame you. To be honest, it's a gambling sponsor, and then it is the actual. Well,
we don't need to say anymore. I'm not wearing it. I cannot see a lot of women being particularly positive about it, just generally.
Yeah, I completely agree and understand, and I think that might drive the sales of this kit up.
Yeah. In some respects, I think you've got a very good point there.
Yeah. I think if I was going to spend my money, it's going to be the black and gold. Michael shirt. Yeah.
And there we are. That is the crest as well. Just explaining, what it is. The previous crest and the new crest. I do like it. Do you know what? The crest has really grown on me because it is.
Yeah.
They've not gone for this modern look, have they? They've gone for something that does look like it is a crest designed in the. And I've had a look at some of Daniel Norris's stuff, and it's really good. It's really, really good. Some of the stuff I'd love to actually get, in a frame, and put behind me, because I tell you what, it is really, really nice. Some of the designs where he puts this crest on the wall, and what he's done for other clubs as well. Leighton Orient is another one that he's actually redeveloped their logo. To be honest, because of the way their logo actually looks, on the front of a shirt, I actually think that they should adopt his design as their crest, because it is a lot more. It feels a bit more feature rich, and it makes the dragons stand out more. But I like what he's done and the retro element that he's given to it as well. Well, I'll tell you what, let's just quickly cover, and there is some pictures that we've got here as well, because the players are back in training. Of course, they are in the US&A at the moment. And there we have Dongo and Hammer Traore as well. So, yeah, Neto there, punching the ball out. Mark Travers watching on.
Yeah, I mean, it's.
Is he thinking, catch it?
I don't think keepers are shown how to catch
Never
it.
seen a catchable.
I don't know if anybody's seen any of the footage of the training on afcb TV and that, but it seems like they've had a real decent training camp out there this year.
They all seem really, really positive. A lot of nice banter seems to be going on, and just good vibes. It really feels like they are a team that are gelled really well.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah. It's I mean, the open training session was an interesting one the other day. Seeing that, and the amount of fans and the Americans are really, really getting into it, and it's great to see that 20 years ago, people in America, probably people that have emigrated there from Bournemouth knew who Bournemouth were, but actual Americans now are massively behind the club, which is great to see, isn't it?
Yeah,
most Americans like Wrexham now.
Wrexham,
I actually went to uni in America in 2002. Gosh, that was a long time ago. The facilities for all sports, fantastic, but the investment in those sports, so ridiculously skewed. Soccer, as it was, absolutely no interest at all. I was friends with the soccer team, talked to them about Bournemouth all the time. Not that they really knew who Bournemouth were. I just said it's near London and Arsenal, and they were like, "Oh yeah." No, but just the excitement surrounding it just wasn't there. And just watching that open training session, it was just lovely to see that people are being really opened up to soccer in the States, and hopefully that it will start growing. We with what we're doing over there with the tie-ins with Michael as well, and just that popularity. It's so nice to see it growing.
Yeah, most definitely. Good to see Jaden there with a smile on his face as well, because I tell you what, he's just pleased he's left Leeds, isn't he? He's just like, thank God I'm not going back there.
I mean, his year last year was punctuated with so much sadness, and just seeing him back, seeing him playing, seeing him around all his friends, they are, the banter between them all seems fantastic, and I am pleased to have him back home, and I hope he stays
definitely
first season.
Most definitely. I think he will actually, I think he'll kick on from here. I think he will. But one player, of course, we did touch upon who has had an injury is Tyler Adams. And the USA international joined the Cherries from Leeds, as mentioned earlier on with Lewis Cook last summer. for around 20 million. We like to raid Leeds, don't we? We shouldn't help them out. We should just raid them. I quite like Crescencio Somerville, to be perfectly honest. So yeah, if we want to raid them for him as well, but he's not having anything in bloody return. But he made just 4 appearances last season due to injuries. The midfielder featured 3 times for his country at this summer's Copa America, but that only aggravated a pre-existing back issue. Adams is with the Cherries squad for their pre-season tour in America, but will not play any part and will miss the start of the Premier League season. Head coach Andoni Iraola explained, with Tyler, we have a situation. He finished the season with us with an injury in his back. He wanted to play in Copa America. Obviously, very important for him. He went through the tournament, but was with minutes restriction. He was still feeling pain in his back. 2 days after they were out of the competition, he had surgery again in his back. So actually, he is out and he will be out for some time. But it was a decision he had to take because he couldn't play with this pain. He started to feel it after a couple of games he played with us against Everton. He went through the last weeks of the season, but he was suffering even playing the games for the national team. So he has had to go to surgery to correct some of the some hernia, like a lot of players had before, but he has already now started the process and he will be out for some time. Asked how long he expects Adam to be missing, Iraola added, for me, it is difficult to say because I am not a doctor. When will the Cherries be
response.
to be honest, it is a perfect response, isn't it? When will we see the best of Tyler Adams, or will it be injury after injury? Do we?
I hope not.
I made a statement the other day, and my statement is that we are probably at, and only because of where we're trying to get to and how we're trying to develop as a club, we're probably at a crossroads here. Now, the thing is if it is going to be injury after injury, Lewis Cook probably had that time where we were at that period of time. Yes, we were in the Premier League. Eddie Howe, it was probably annoying for him. But at the same time, we didn't have this push for Europe, which is what Bill Foley is seeming to focus on. We're probably ahead of schedule, to be fair, for that. But I think we're at the crossroads. If he does make a full recovery and can get back and show his best for this football club, this season, I would say that's fine. Put it behind him. Of course, it's a long-term injury. If it is going to be something that is going to keep reoccurring, as good a player as he is, a player can be great, but if he's in the injury room, then it's going to be a case of we can't continue. And there's been players that like that throughout history. One that's actually favourable to ourselves, Darren Anderton. He was a player that, if he hadn't had so many injuries, and I know some, I think it was Spurs fans, wasn't it? They used to call him Sick Note Anderton. The thing is, if he hadn't had those injuries, he was a great player.
Yeah.
But he would have been even better. Is it a case that Tyler Adams, as good as he is, we might have to end up saying we need to cut our losses? I would actually say that when he does come back, we can't throw him in like last time into the first team. Maybe let him go out on loan. And if Leeds, would happen, and I said, we don't really want to help Leeds out here. Right, what am I saying? We do want to help them out. What am I going on about? No, send him somewhere like Oxford. But,
just to let you know, Craig, very quickly, Leeds aren't the only club in the transfer market at the minute.
We'll just buy players and send them on loan there. But where I'm getting at is, if we can, he might need a little bit of time just to get himself back up to scratch.
I think from marketing in the States, Captain America is a fantastic asset. I can't see him going anywhere because of that, and obviously the money that has been paid for him already. I think there is value in him whether he is playing or not, and that's my 2 pence worth on it.
Yeah, I agree, totally agree there, because when there was, you've seen, I think it's at the ice hockey, the Golden Knights,
Yes,
they've got a Bournemouth section in there, and it's literally just Adam's shirts. In terms of selling shirts, he is going to make massive money in America.
He is Team America all over, and whether you're into your soccer or not, he's in the national squad, and he is a Bournemouth player. And I think that financially, he's got a lot of value in him for many years to come.
Just hope he's not going to be another Stanislas.
Yeah, but that's it. That's exactly it, Liam, because he is a quality. And the small snippets we have seen of him, he comes on. You can see why he's been. I mean, I think they've actually. I don't think he captained America during the last tournament.
In this lot, I don't think so.
I think his injury, they were managing his game time even during the tournament. So I mean, you can see he comes on. He's a leader. You can see he communicates. Even though he hasn't got the armband, he is another captain that's on that pitch. So, I mean, I think personally, eventually, once he's up and fit, I think he will end up captaining Bournemouth. I mean, I would personally, love to see someone like Lewis Cook as captain, somebody like that. But I think because of the image and everything, I can see that this guy could, if he was fit, he would be a captain at the club. And that's, I see where you're coming from, Craig. Totally. Totally see where you're coming from. But I just want to see the guy fit and playing. That's what I want to see first and foremost. I want to see him out there, and competing with the likes of Cook and, Christie, who's obviously transferred into that role, and give them some competition, and, make everybody, better when there's more competition. So, it's just getting him fit, isn't it? That's the biggest thing. Injury he's got now is different to previous injuries. Normally, his hamstrings he struggles with, isn't it?
Yes.
And this is hernia is back, isn't it? So, is he going to be, injury where there's a knock on after knock on? But it's let's just hope after this he can get fit. But you're right, Craig. You can't rush him. I can't see him going out on loan, but I don't think we can rush him back into the first team. I think if he has to spend a little bit of time with the development squad and get 60 minutes here, and build his minutes up with them and stay fit and then integrate into the first team, then so be it. But we just want to see him fit, don't we?
Most definitely.
And actually, him playing in a Bournemouth shirt is going to, really entice the Americans to watch as well, and. And we're getting more supporters from it in America.
Oh, most definitely. Yeah, well, we will do. It's a bit like the Ji-Sung Park situation that Manchester United had, wasn't it? When and of course, people in South Korea were absolutely crazy over Manchester United during that period. And there's been a number of players that have done that. So, that's a very, very, very good point. Is the marketing side of things. That he will attract new fans from the US&A, which I tell you what does lead us on quite nicely to our 2 games in the US.
A bit of a late night, weren't they?
Yes, they were. So, of course, the first team we played was Wrexham. Of course, Ryan Reynolds' team. I don't think he was there, was he?
No, he wasn't. Rob McAnally was.
Yeah. But the Cherries pre-season began with a 1-1 draw against League One Wrexham in Santa Barbara. Wrexham, who have achieved back-to-back promotions, snatched the lead on the brink of half-time. James Hill, the unfortunate man to head the ball into his own net. But the Cherries equalised in the second period through Marcos Senesi, which proved to be the end of the scoring. And may I just have mention here Phil Billing and his contribution in that. What an overhead kick.
Yeah.
Beautiful. I tell you what, Jude Bellingham would have been proud of that. Iriola used the game against a lower league opposition to give some opportunities from the start to players who did not feature much for the first team last season. Iriola was not happy, though, after the opening friendly. I didn't finish very happy with the performance, especially the first half. We played really slow. It was not the easiest day to play. We wanted to put rhythm, but couldn't, especially in the first half. The ball was moving very, very slow, and the difference in divisions is the rhythm to do the things. If we play slow, you cannot feel this difference. I think we didn't play quick enough.
But is that
yeah.
due to the pitch or?
Oh, it was terrible pitch, wasn't it?
Yeah,
really
I did notice that. The pitch was awful, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It looked like it needed a good old water, didn't it?
Yeah,
I mean, the game itself, I'm one of these that don't take a lot from friendlies.
I don't really do friendlies.
Yeah, I'm going to go to a couple. Which one am I going to, Craig?
Vallecano.
I'm going to go to that friendly. I might go to the other one as well. I don't know yet, but I can't get excited over friendlies. I like to watch who any new signings or what are we doing differently to what we So I watch like for things like that. We were definitely sluggish, massively sluggish, and a lot of people focused on James Hill's obviously heading the ball in his own net, but I mean that's an easy mistake to make. I thought I was pretty decent. I think the youngster Bevan. He was playing in an unfamiliar position at left back, and he didn't really last very long in that position. I think it was sort of within the first half hour, and Kirkes was on, if I remember right. But yeah, I mean, like you say, nice to see Marcus Senesi get a goal again. Another goal for him. Okay, a League One side. They've had their day against a couple of Premier League sides in their tour. They played Chelsea as well. They drew 2-2 with Chelsea, didn't they? I think.
Yeah.
So they've had a big confidence boost for their season. But from our perspective, it's for me, it's all about the fitness, keeping players fit, seeing players get some minutes in, and the Arsenal game, which we'll touch on in a minute, was totally different. But it was much nicer watching Wrexham and Bournemouth in LA rather than at the racecourse ground when and it's pouring down rain. Just
hold on a minute. Wrexham, it just brings me back to one moment. Of course, that James Hayter hat trick. That is what Wrexham's all about. But joking aside, I think it's a side that they've got successive promotions. They're playing under a manager Phil Parkinson, who has got clubs into the latter end parts of the FA Cup. In fact, he even got, wasn't it Bradford? He got into the final against Swansea City all those years ago. Yeah. He is a manager who, I guess, he just kind of defies the odds, don't he? He's pretty much unknown, but he defies the odds. I think he was at Hull as well, wasn't he, for a short period of time? Colchester, that was the other team. So he's got, a track record of causing big teams a lot of problems. So I wasn't surprised, to be perfectly honest, that we didn't beat Wrexham. But, like you say, Matt, I completely agree. We were sluggish and probably we should have done a bit more. We are tactically and physically a better team than they are.
Yeah. But they did do well with the heat.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Pressing was good.
And I think, actually, that will help our squad going into the new season. So yeah, that's I guess playing in that heat, it's minutes under the belt for a couple of players that probably won't get game time with us this season. Some will go out on loan. Like you say, Bevan, I can imagine he'll go out on loan somewhere. So it's good. It's good for them. But the second friendly was a little bit more exciting, and it showed. I felt, I don't know if you guys will agree with this. I think we showed a little bit more zip in this.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was. Definitely. It was a pointless penalty shootout as well. Why they agreed to do penalty shootouts at the end of the friendly match is beyond me. But the actual 90 minutes of football was quite promising from our perspective, I think.
Yeah, definitely. So, trailing at half-time to a Fabio Vieira strike at LA Galaxy's Dignity Health Sports Park, Cherries created some good opportunities with Dominic Solanke and Dongo Watara both going close. But Cherries did make it 1-1 as the game entered the final 20 minutes. Semenyo shot deflecting in, meaning another draw on the pre-season tour. After the same score against Wrexham, of course, on Saturday. Senior duo Justin Cliver and Hamid Traore were again not involved, while Chris Metham dropped completely out of the squad. Make of that what you will. Cherries had some joy with their high press. Romain Favre picked the pocket of Partey before the ball was worked to Solanke, who fired over. Cherries got their merited equaliser on 73 minutes, albeit in fortuitous fashion. Semenyo won the ball himself before driving forwards down the left. His shot deflected off Ben White, leaving Hine to helplessly watch it loop over him and in. I've got to say there as well, a big mention to Romain Favre, because I was a little bit concerned with him, towards the end of last season. I thought that, he was going to struggle, but actually in this game, he did look very good. I don't know what you guys think of that, but we'll come to that in a moment. There was a pre-arranged penalty shootout to round off proceedings. Cherries were beaten 5-4 with Semenyo, Watara, Adam Smith and Jefferson finding the net, while Phil Billing and Christie were thwarted by Hine. Iriola was very positive after the friendly with Arsenal in LA. Arsenal were used to coming here, but it is something very important for us as a club, he said. Maybe lots of people didn't know us or our players. Now they will be looking more at AFC Bournemouth. It takes a lot of time to build a brand. We are very happy, and that's a big thing, actually. We're very happy at the open training session on Monday. There were a lot of people, including some who made the trip from England to be here. It's very good for the club. And there's a picture of course, Andoni Iriola with his countryman. And by countryman, we mean Basque country friend, Mikel Arteta. And yeah, I think this was a lot better performance. I don't understand the penalty shootout. I think that was very, dare I say it, it was a very American style thing, wasn't it?
Not to have a winner.
Yeah. It was just like, why? Why are we doing a penalty shootout?
I'm sure it's a good for practice in a crowd situation and the season, but bizarre. But overall good game, pleasing performance, and it's going to be interesting how the next two friendlies pan out, and then obviously we'll all be excited for the first league game at Forest.
Yeah, most definitely. And we've tested penalties now, so if we get in, the Carabao Cup, somebody like Stevenage, and it goes to penalties, we're playing our second string, then at least we know how to take them. I've just picked Stevenage off the top of my head. I'm not Mystic Meg, so before anybody says, how did you guess that? I've just made it up. But let's have a little look at the players that we are saying goodbye for good and for as well. And there's two there. So let's start off with the player who is permanently leaving.
Yeah.
Kiefer Moore.
He'll always be a legend.
Oh, he will be.
I think
always
him Yeah. He's done so much for us with just that one moment of brilliance. He's had others, but yeah, I think we talked, didn't we? And I don't think any of us would be surprised that he's off.
No.
I can remember Chris Temple just going more at the end. And I tell you, but we look at that game. What else he did for us as well against Swansea. I think it was a midweek game, wasn't it? Just before that Nottingham Forest game, we were 3-0 down in that match, and I thought we're blowing it. We're absolutely blowing it. Kiefer Moore, what does he do? Rolls his socks up and gets us straight back in it. I know he's probably got a dislike of Swansea City anyway, because of course playing for Cardiff. But the thing is, he'll always be remembered, and a nice bloke as well. Very nice bloke.
Yeah, someone more suited to the Championship, dare I say that? But we think all his most of his great moments for us, that's where they've come from, and I am sad, I think, to see him go just because of his sort of status that he clearly has now. But right thing to do for him. He's not getting much game time with us.
Yeah, agree. I think speed was a problem for him. His pace. I think he is a target man. He probably doesn't fit into Iraola's style. I'm not saying that he couldn't play in the Premier League, but I think there's very few teams that he could play in the Premier League with. And one of the teams being, I think he could play for Everton. They are a bit of a longer ball side. They'll get the balls into the box. He can get his head on it. But the way we're trying to implement our pressing style, it's not going to work. It's not going to work for him.
No.
So it made sense. What do you reckon, Matt?
Well, as you know from previous, I like him.
Yeah.
I thought that sometimes, if we went a little bit more direct, we would have suited his play. But he'll always be remembered for that night against Forest. And like you say, the night against Swansea when he come on and got us right back in it. And there's plenty of memories there. And for a short spell here, he's always going to have his name firmly etched into the history books. Liam, what's your favourite moment from Kiefer Moore?
The Forest game.
Yeah.
I don't think there is any other that you could pick, really.
What's Billy doing is taking the free kick.
It was a great, well worked off the training field set piece, wasn't it? So,
and I know you say his name's etched into the memories, but his picture is on the side of the stand.
Yeah,
that is the biggest honour you can get. That moment is on the side of the stand. So, he will forever be part of AFC Bournemouth folklore. And he'll always be in FIFA as well, because, of course, that picture's on there as well when people play at Dean Court. There is a picture of Kiefer Moore. There we are. Also, Joe Rothwell is surplus to requirements at Dean Court and has signed a season-long loan at Leeds United. Will he feature in a Cherries shirt again? I'll tell you what, let's go round the room and then I'll give you my thoughts and also the thoughts of a Southampton fan that I was speaking to.
Who's going to go first? I'll go last.
I'll go first because I think I said on the last show that I think I will miss him. I'm not surprised that he's gone, but I think I was kind of hoping he would stay. He's had some great moments for us, but I'm not sure he fits with what has happened this year with the club. So fair enough, but interesting to know the thoughts of the Southampton fans though.
Decent player, I think, most for the Championship.
Yeah, no, I think I'd agree with you, Liam, to be fair. He's a decent player. But probably similar to like everyone's opinions with Kiefer, he's going to be more, beneficial in the Championship. Obviously, he started out at United and things didn't work out for him there, and he's, had a route through the game back up to the Premier League. But I don't think it's quite worked out for him. He might not really fit sometimes into our style now. Plus, there's a lot of competition in that position. So, yeah, shame, because he has had some moments for us, but I personally don't think we'll see him in the Cherries first team again.
No.
I think he will move on.
I echo that 110%. I think, he's a model professional. He works hard. He's a good passer of the ball. But maybe his movement's a little bit slow. When I spoke to Yasmin, the Southampton fan, who did come on for a couple of shows, actually, she did, and no doubt we'll catch up with her again very, very soon. Her thought was Brooksy was excellent. She really liked Brooksy. Worked his socks off. Was very, very good for them. Joe Rothwell, prone to some mistakes, slowed it down a little bit too much for Russell Martin's side. Felt that he was at fault for a couple of goals as well there, so she wasn't overly keen on
But he
Joe
did score
Rothwell.
a couple of screamers for him, didn't he?
He did, yes. That's a very, very good point.
He's got a good eye for goal as well. And, I think I could understand, when you play in central midfield, there's always going to be a time when you're going to lose the ball. And, I mean, you look at Declan Rice at the Euros, lost that ball and it contributed to a goal. So, I mean, just to judge him from the Saints' point of view, just to judge him on that, I think it's a bit harsh, really. I thought the games I saw him play again for Saints while he was on loan now, I thought he had a decent spell, to be honest with you.
Yeah. And he did score a screamer for them.
Yeah.
He did score a really, really good goal for them. But yeah, she wasn't particularly, over keen on him. But they'll take Brooksy back in a heartbeat, which I tell you what, Brooksy is probably a player that I am concerned of us losing.
Yeah.
But I think, this is a horrible thing to have to say. I think because of what he's been through, I think his body is still building itself up. I think to play at the pace that Iriola has implemented in this squad, would be very, very strenuous. I thought he was great against Swansea. He's a good. He hasn't lost it. I just wonder, whether or not he will get the game time here, and I wouldn't be surprised if somebody else does come in, which will be a real shame, because Brooks has been a great servant. But what do you guys think of that? I think we've spoken about this a couple of times, haven't we? And just the intensity against what, and it's no fault of David Brooks's, no fault what David Brooks is at all. I think it's just what he is possibly capable of at this moment in time. Not saying he can never get back there, because I think he will do. It's just whether or not is he happy sitting on the bench and waiting for that time.
Not sure.
It's horrible to.
I still would like to think he's got a place here.
He'll always have a place here, I think.
And I think
he'll always have a place here, but
whether he wants to, you say, sit on the bench, which I can't imagine any young footballer does, especially not if he's still looking to, nationals, to be part of the national team. He can't just sit around with no game time. So I think for him, a bigger picture will probably be get where he can play and keep his level of competitiveness up for his place in the squad for Wales.
Yeah, most definitely. Well, I think that's all we've got time for on this new revamped cherry picking. By all means,
just before we go, Craig, just very quickly, do you think I'm going looking a bit like the old Joe?
Yes, I think so. Yeah, in certain light.
Hiring me out for personal.
Oh, look at that!
Yeah,
grow the beard a bit. Then.
See the hair and it could be a double, it could be a lookalike. I could go to party. You take me out to parties and stuff.
Hold on.
But I won't wear a Leeds shirt.
Ooh.
I've got a call coming through. Hang on. Hello. Oh, hello, Daniel. Yeah, I've got him right here. Yeah, we're on cherry picking. We're talking about Bournemouth. He's not turned up for training. He's not. All right, I'll send him straight up to Leeds. You got. Yeah. He said he don't want to go there.
No,
said,
I wouldn't sign for Leeds. No, thanks.
He said it's a shithole. Sorry, Daniel.
Shithole.
Sorry, mate, you dropped. Oh dear. We have to have a laugh. But honestly, yeah, you are looking a little bit like him. You know.
Yeah, a bit fatter in the face, but
probably a need for some Just for Men as well. You know, just get rid of the greys. But at the end of the day, you're doing better than me, which is the
I've got the Joe Rothwell, while you've got the Steve McLaren, ain't you? So
it's all good. Well, and that's all we have time for. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Do hit the like, subscribe, the bell button below if you do want to get involved. The email address is also in the description on YouTube, utciadafcb@gmail.com. Now, we do want to dedicate this show as well to two Cherries who have sadly left us as well. And our thoughts are with their families and friends at this time. So we'll leave on that note. But thank you again for joining us, and we'll see you in the next episode.